Hey everybody, how's it going? We got drone problems. We got issues. Our quad's broken, the ESC's broken. I don't know what to do. It's not working right. So if you remember a few videos back, I did a build video using this Speedybee Master 5 V2 frame with the Speedybee stack, GPS, and all that stuff. On the first flight that I did like a roll, and then the drone kind of freaked out and flipped and did a bunch of weird stuff, and it was like, well, I didn't do that. That's weird. I've never had that happen before. What I think was happening was actually a desync, a motor desync, or the ESC couldn't keep up, the drivers had an issue, something was going on with the quad, and I ignored it for a long time, but it kept happening. So this would happen almost every time I flew. I'd have one or two packs that were fine, and then I'd go fly again, and it would freak out again and flip and roll and just crash into the ground. So it seemed to get worse over time. It kept happening, and I just didn't know what was going on. So I tried all the normal fixes, all the things that you see in the videos and forums and stuff. I went into the ESC configurator. I tried startup power, ramp up power, demag compensation, all the different tricks and things that you would usually do to fix this issue. And then I ended up swapping to flashing Blue Jay and trying to reconfigure the ESC in that. And again, changing ramp up power, all this different stuff. Nothing worked. I just kept having this issue, and it was just really annoying. And on the last time that I went to fly it and had this issue, I actually broke one of the arms. Thankfully, the new arms are pretty cheap, so I got 4 arms. They were like $5 or $6 a piece. So we do have new parts to fix this drone, but I also threw away the electronics. So I got frustrated, and I just was like, you know what, we're just gonna rebuild this whole thing. So I got a new stack, new motors. We're running the same VTX, same receiver. So we're kind of doing a rebuild on this. We're also going to be doing a frame swap with this quad here. This is the Skyliner from Rotor Riot, and it's a pretty good frame. It's not bad, but I don't like that my XT60 comes out the side here, and it just is always in the way of the props, and I'm always worried it's hard to strap down, and there's just no room in this frame to route it any other way. So I do like the frame, but we are going to be doing a frame swap today. We're going to be trying a new frame. This frame here is the Lumineer QAV-S Joshua Bardwells Edition version 2. So I just picked this up. So we're going to be doing a frame swap with that Skyliner and putting all the parts in here and testing out this new frame. See if we can route the XT60 a different way, and that'll make me happy. I like running my XT60s either out the front of the frame or the rear. I don't like having it run out the side. It's just annoying to have to try to strap it down. So also this frame is really cool looking. So we're going to do a frame swap, a rebuild, and then we're going to go fly these and see how they do. I'm going to start here with the Skyliner because I think it'll be easier, quicker to do. Swapping over to this frame here. But before we do that, we need to disassemble this whole thing. So let's do that real quick. Okay, wow, that was kind of difficult to get off. Somehow these gummies get stuck to the top of these gummies, and they don't really want to come off. But anyway, there we go. We got the receiver and the flight controller with the O3 cable still plugged in. We can set this stuff aside. I forgot I had to do this when I did this build, because there wasn't room for the capacitor, so I had it soldered to the ESC here, and then these long wires strung around, and it was stuffed back behind. I'd like to fix this too if we can. The double-sided sticky tape does not come off the O3 very easily, but we got most of it off. That's okay, because we're gonna put more on when we mount it in the new quad. Okay, well now we've got, you know, just a mess of parts. Now we got to put this thing back together, I guess. So let's do that. So before we get this thing together, I did want to show you guys this frame. It's pretty cool, interesting design. It's a nice front, aluminum front end, so that's nice. It's gonna be nice and protective. It is a split deck design, which is pretty standard. That's nice to see. But the way the arms go on is very interesting. So it's got this kind of X-plate design where the arms kind of get wedged in with these I don't even know what you call them, triangle pieces, and it wedges the arms in. So the way this works is this aluminum piece here gets bolted down to the mid plate, and there's, you know, the 4 screws there. Some of those are your stack screws, so that's good. And then you got these wedge pieces, your arms go in, and then you can see a hole for each arm where the screw is. This is your bottom plate, that goes over that. And then there's a single screw that goes through the center, through the aluminum piece there. And then there's one screw per arm that goes all the way through, and that's gonna connect to a standoff up top. But yeah, when this is bolted down, you know, it's gonna look like that. Nice design. And then if you needed to swap an arm, you would literally just unscrew the one screw here, and you would just loosen this side piece here, and the arm would just slide out like that. So single bolt arm design, which is nice. Just the single screw there. And then the new arm would just slide in, and then you would tighten this down, and that'd be it. Just kind of loosen this. The arms just kind of fall out, which is funny, but yeah, you can see this is not threaded. This is just free to move, but those screws thread into there. So you grab an arm, or two arms, I should say, cinch that down, and now the arms are in place. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. We got the ESC mounted. I got my XT60 leads on. And again, I always just use a roll of this stuff. It's 12 gauge, so I can make my own, have the length I want. So yeah, those are soldered on, and they're gonna run over the top of the O3 and kind of out the back like that. And that'll work out fine. Once the top plate's on, it'll kind of squish everything down and it'll run out the back. So yeah, we got the ESC mounted. We got the XT60 leads. I did have to use some little gummies underneath the board here to kind of lift the ESC up a little bit, but no big deal. And then the capacitor, again, like I do a lot, if you can see maybe underneath, you'll see the purple wires running underneath. So I've got some wires soldered to the bottom of the pads here, and those run to this capacitor here because there's nowhere else to really mount the capacitor. But up front, behind the camera, we'll have plenty of room for that to sit, so that'll work out well. So we got all that mounted. Now we got to finish up with the flight controller, find a spot for the receiver to sit, get the antennas mounted, get the motors back on, and we'll be done with this. Okay, so we're just about done here. We've got the flight controller on, O3 is plugged in. We've got one antenna in the rear here. I've just got a zip tie around the back because this 3D print's kind of just a little loose piece here, but the zip tie will hold it on nicely. This print and our GoPro print, GoPro mount, these 3D prints came from Brain 3D. You can just look up O3 and Express LRS or O3 and Crossfire, whatever, and they've got different prints that have different standoff widths, and you can just measure the width of your standoffs and get a print that'll fit it. Now the GoPro mount originally looks like this one, and it's a nice print, it's nice and it really covers the camera well, but it's a little bit big and heavy compared to the normal prints that I get from a lot of other places where it's just kind of a centerpiece, and these are still sturdy and hold the GoPro well. So what I did was I just trimmed this one. I got a couple of these. I just trimmed it down to where it's more like, you know, these other styles that I'm used to, and that shaves a lot of weight off, and I think it looks better. We got one of the antennas in the front that's just zip tied down. The camera's mounted. We got the motor wires on. I'm gonna throw some tape on those when I get further along. I always use electrical tape because I don't really care. These things get smashed into the ground. To me, it still looks clean. It looks nice. It's fine. This is pretty tight in here. When I have the top plate on, I have to basically like smash it down, but it'll help hold the O3 down, so no big deal there. These are still bare. I'm gonna put the XT60 plug on when everything's done, and I can kind of put a battery strap on and maybe trim these down if I need to. But and then the receiver, we've got both of the antennas plugged in here, and I'm just kind of planting this kind of in front next to the capacitor, and it can just hang out there. I might put some sticky tape or something there to help hold it, but yeah, it's looking good. All we gotta do now is throw the top plate on with the GoPro mount, and I'll have to reorder motors and motor direction since I did desolder them. Everything else should still be set up correctly and I shouldn't have to mess with too much. I think this is still running BO Heli S, so I am gonna flash this to Blue Jay and do that with so I can do the RPM filtering and have the cool startup tones. So yeah, it's looking good. We're almost done with this. All right, so we got this thing all done. Blue Jay's flashed. We flashed Betaflight 4.4, got everything set up. I just did a little test hover, couple little flips, you know, little quick things to make sure. We got the Superfly preset tune on there. That thing's working good. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Gotta love it. All right, next quad, let's go. Okay, now we gotta quickly throw this thing together. Like I said, we did break an arm, but we got a new set of arms. So throw this thing back together where we were using the Walksnail V2 system, video, Express LRS diversity, receiver. I did ruin the GPS. I stabbed a hole in the GPS when I was removing it, so whatever. Got a new GPS, the same one, Walksnail. And then we got the Speedybee F405 V4 stack for this thing. So we had the V3 in it, but I don't fault the V3 because I have V3s in my other ones and they're just fine, but we're going with the V4. And then motors, we got some iFlight Zing E Pro, I think they are. They were like 15 a piece. Nice looking motors. But yeah, really cheap for what these are. They're 2306, 2450 kV, so these will work out good. So yeah, let's throw this thing together real quick. All right, we got the motors on. Now we need to cut all this junk and get them soldered to the ESC. All right, there we go. All the motors are on. Everything's taped down, looks good. Now we need to mount the flight controller, get the GPS on, get the video system on, get the rest of the drone hooked up and ready to go. All right, so we're moving along pretty quick here. Got the flight controller on, that's plugged into the ESC. Got the VTX mounted, Walksnail V2 mounted. Single antenna one, got the GPS in there, put the plug in, waiting to go. So we're gonna have to put the plug from the Walksnail, plug that in, solder that up. We got the camera mounted up front. That's all ready to go, all good. So yeah, a couple little things, GPS, VTX, and then our receiver. We'll get all that on, and we're almost done here. All right, so there we go, we're done. Just it looks just like it did in the original video. See here, we got GPS in the back, cable running underneath to the board there, receiver stuck down to the top of the VTX. Looks pretty good. Now we just gotta plug it in, make sure it doesn't blow up, and then get in Betaflight, set that up, and then we're gonna go test fly this thing, and hopefully it doesn't desync and flip out of the sky like the other one. So let's make sure it doesn't blow up here. Hey, that's a good sign. All right, so we're all good. Yeah, it looks good, all done. Pretty clean setup, looks very good. Like I said, just gotta get it in the computer, get all that stuff set up, and then we're gonna go fly this thing and the other one, see how it does. Yeah, we got about, I don't know, like 5 minutes before the sun goes down, so we're gonna try to get a couple flights in. I don't know if I'll be able to do all the testing that I want to today, as far as like GPS rescue and stuff on this. There's also a bunch of people out there. I think they're packing up from the soccer stuff, but I don't wanna be doing stuff that might end badly if there's people around. And then I did charge this 21700 cell that we haven't even flown yet, but again,
I don't know if we have the time, and I don't know if I want to fly this with a bunch of people out here in case it, like, you know, like grenades, explodes, catches on fire, and falls from the sky onto a tent out there. That would not be good. So I don't know if I'm gonna fly that, but we're gonna definitely try both the JB frame with the stuff I've already flown, and then this is basically a full rebuild. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we should be good.
Yeah, watch out, okay?
Just remember I have a PID tune on there, so we're just gonna listen. There we go. Okay, so stay closer to the grass and do some kind of sharper moves and make sure it's acting okay. I put a PID tune on his quad, just a small change, but I was a little worried that, well, I'm not a PID tuner, so, you know, but he says it's flying pretty good, so it's out there somewhere. He said it's the best PID tune he's ever used, so yeah. No. All right, we're armed. GPS rescue off, yes I know. I'm gonna go out in the field. That way, if it decides to do anything, we're good. I'm gonna try a couple flips. That was... Whoa, this thing's floaty. Weird. It's flying good though. We're at 250 milliwatt. Man, it's flying really good. With this quad, I mean, it's got different motors. Yeah, it's the V4, but I wouldn't imagine that there's not too much difference. And this is running the Blue Jay with the 24, yep, kilohertz. Yeah, this battery's doing really good too because it's so lightweight compared to everything else. What? Yeah. Yeah, you can hear how smooth it is. Usually on the other one, you could hear it like complain basically. When I would come out of a flip, it would go, you'd hear this weird sound, I'm telling you. That's why when I was saying with your 7-inch to stay close to listen, when you do hard maneuvers like that, you'll hear it complain. It'll just sound like crap. Yeah, well, it's almost more of like a motor issue where it just, I don't know, it's got, the 5-inch kind of has a weird tingy high pitch thing. The motor complaining thing, if it's a bad ESC or a bad tune, it almost sounds like the motor's trying to spin but also stop itself. It's weird, it's hard to explain. Man, this thing is smooth. Battery's just killing it too. If my meter's correct, 1200 milliamp use, I'm at 3.6. Might need to change the meter a little bit because I think at 3.6 I should be a little lower. No, we're dipping down into the 5s. It might be okay. We're at 4 minutes now. And I've been pushing it pretty hard. Oh, I get my speed too, even if I didn't, well, now that I have sats. Home point is not there, which makes sense, because it's set home point once, and I didn't take off with sats, but it gives me my speed now. What? It's a Walksnail 181. It's like a $16 GPS. Barely any prop wash there. That sounded good. This has absolutely zero protection on the bottom. That was rad. Oh, that thing flew good. Man, okay, I'm happy with that. That's awesome. Okay, hopefully the audio recorded that whole flight, and hopefully the VTX did. So Speedybee, it works good. My guess is that it definitely was the ESC given the problems last time, because this thing flew incredible now. So now we gotta try the Bardwell frame, and I'm sure it'll fly good because I know that setup flies good, but I did change some things, so maybe it'll crash into the ground. All right, so yeah, his 7-inch works good. That one works good. Now he's flying the 5-inch with Walksnail with the Goggles X. I'm scared, but yeah.
Here we go.
This thing's, oh, wait, no, you're screwed. It's done. Arm it again, watch what happens. When you armed, this back motor didn't spin. Oh, God. All right, that quad's having some problems. And we're losing light here, so I'm gonna run this and see how it does real quick. Hopefully I can record. I forgot some SD cards, but. All right, let's see how this one flies. Okay, it's recording now. I had to arm it to record, but we should be good. Whoo! A little wobbly, a little bit of bobbles, that's okay. Flying good. That's flying good. Has a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, wobbles or whatever on full throttle, but it's flying good. Yeah, full throttle. It's got a little bit of wiggle to it, but that's okay. It's not too bad. That inverted yaw, dude. Oh, I got it. Whew, that was a lot of throttle on that dive. That was close to the limit of what I could pull out of. Those ones are fun where you basically go backwards like this and you stay backwards on throttle hard, so it just hucks you backwards. But the rear motors have to keep you oriented the correct way that you're telling it to, so you end up using a lot of your power in that, and then it's like hard to pull out of it sometimes, on dives anyway. Yeah, this one definitely drains quicker. Where it's, this thing seems to have more power. I don't know, I'm thinking it's the motors. And this one's way heavier, I think, by like a lot. Even without the GoPro, it's still heavier. So we're at 3 minutes and I'm at like 3.6. Yeah, this is significantly heavier than the Speedybee one. This has the T-Motor Velux, I think, or V3s or something. No, they're not the V3s. I think they're V2s, but they're like Velos, whatever that is. I think the QAV is the same between the two. They're both 2450, or maybe one's 2550, but no, not enough to really, you know. But see, the screaming, I think, is coming from the weight. See, the other one didn't scream as hard. This one's loud as crap because I'm probably higher in the throttle and it needs to move more air. Yeah, we're coming down here. Nice, pretty good. So that's almost 4 minutes. Max current I pulled was 85 amps. Wow, pretty good. It is, no, this is the V3 stack, so it's a 50 amp. But that's 50 amps per motor. So that's like a total of like, dude, like 200 fucking amps. Like I've seen more, I've seen 100 plus amps when it's got a GoPro and more stuff. Okay, yeah, we're running out of light here. Hopefully I recorded all this and hopefully it looks good. What else? What else?
Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah,
like, comment, subscribe. We got more stuff in the works in the future. We're gonna go fly some cool stuff. Now that we're getting his quad set up with the GPS and it's working correctly, we're gonna go do some more extreme stuff than, you know, park flying. But yeah, sorry this video sucked so hard, but yeah, we ran out of daylight and didn't have time. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you in the next video.